I'm Rox Cella, your host tonight on Real News. Our story is all about the cyber pedo hunters. That's right, you heard me. You won't want to miss 1 minute of this show, so don't go anywhere. Aisha, thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome.
Oh,
how are you?
I'm great. You know, it's an amazing thing. You meet so many people online, and when you get a chance to do a show like this, it's with great anticipation that I'm doing.
It's a big deal.
So, Aisha, before we get into a little bit about your chosen work, which is, of course, your cyber pedo hunter, tell us a little bit about yourself. Of course, I know that it is not your real name that we're using, and we won't talk into too much specifics, but we'll get into more of that, the dangers of this type of field that you've decided to go into. But before we get into that, maybe you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you grew up. Did you have a normal life? I mean, why does a beautiful gal like you go into this?
Well, I grew up in a small town, and we have a big family, so we were all really close. It was hard, though. We went through a lot. There was a lot of us and a lot of stress, and faced a lot of abuse as children, and it was hard. So went through a lot growing up and went down a really hard path and wanted to make a difference after making my own mistakes, not dealing with the abuse the correct way, and this is where I end up.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's a sad thing that society really doesn't offer families counseling, and it doesn't really extend itself out there. Hopefully in the future, by bringing awareness to this, we'll see more of that. But obviously you had a past that was filled with, let's say, going down the rabbit hole. And that's kind of led you to this path where you're at right now. How long have you been a huntress?
Almost 2 years, 2.5 years.
Wow. Well, you've built quite a following.
Yeah, we lose it often too. Well, we get silenced a lot, but we do the best that we can.
I can see that you do. I have just, from the minute, I guess, I laid eyes on you in the cyber world, I was very taken back by the strength you have and the determination you have to do what you do. So when you think about working in cyber, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, I think you're probably primarily in Twitter.
Yeah. Twitter keeps us plenty busy.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
How many aliases have you had to use? I mean, you've had to conceal your identity multiple times. How many? You're always sending me a new name.
I've gone by Aisha since the beginning, but how many accounts have I been through with different names? I'm on my 23rd Twitter account right now.
In 2 years' time?
No, that's in 10 months.
Oh my gosh.
That's just on Twitter. That's just Twitter.
Do they give you the same reasons over and over again why they're shutting you down? Or at this point,
sometimes we don't even get reasons. Most of the time we don't even get a reason.
They just shut you down.
They just shut us down, yeah.
Has anyone threatened you?
Oh yeah, we've had our lives threatened. I've been doxxed. I've had people break into my house.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a joke. And Twitter is not a safe place. But I mean, at this point, since I have been doxxed and I have nothing to lose now. So I'm sure that there's many pedophiles out there on Twitter that are going to watch this, and now they can see my face and they know who's hunting them, and that's perfectly fine with me.
Well, how has your life been up until this point? I'm thinking what you're doing and the challenges that you're up against. How are you doing in your life? I mean, do you feel
Um,
sometimes
like,
like you
what do
don't
you
want to
mean?
get out
Like
of bed?
emotionally or like physically? Like, what do you mean?
It's probably affects.
We're stressed out. We're sad. We're broke. We're broken. We feel like we're fighting a battle we're not going to win.
Really. And Aisha, why would you say that?
Well, when you silence the only people that are speaking up for the people that can't speak for themselves, sorry,
No. Do you take
you take the voice away from the most vulnerable of all of us. And it's primarily, if everybody understood that it's primarily about the children, then I think it would matter more. I mean, this is how the elite make their money. Child trafficking kids and child porn, and the world is ran by pedophiles, basically. And every organization that we have in this country to protect the children does not protect the children. And I can prove it. It's such an ugly, dark world surrounding our future that it's become taboo and nobody wants to look at it. Nobody wants to see it. So don't get me wrong, we are legion and there are many of us, but when you keep getting shut down and people don't understand that this is primarily about the children. And that's why everybody is so upset, especially at the president and everything that's going on.
Sure. Well, I truly believe, Aisha, he is making a difference.
Absolutely. And all of this stuff is like, it's a distraction from the big things going on behind the scenes. Like we hear about these big pedophile and human trafficking rings, and then all of a sudden we've got these congressional hearings and that stuff just dies down, you know what I'm saying? And the kids and the victims get forgot about because the elites are causing all these other problems to distract from what we are focused on.
Do you think that now that you know what you know, would you do it again? Would you have taken yourself this far?
I would do it again and I'll never stop.
I believe
They'll
that.
never be able to stop us.
I believe that. Let's talk about a few of the people and then we'll get into a little bit more of what it is exactly that you do. I was amazed recently, and ever since I've been following you, and really I've been involved in this for probably the last 2 years myself, and I am shocked. I'm not sure if it's getting worse or if
It's getting worse, for sure.
Let's talk about this fellow who just assaulted over a half a dozen children. He was sentenced to over 300 years, and he's out walking free.
On a technicality.
Truly.
Yeah, and he was also supposed to register back in the 80s and refused to do so. And it could have prevented a lot of this from happening, probably all of it, if parents would have known that this was a very dangerous, sick, twisted individual. But he was released on a technical, rearrested a week later for not registering back in the 80s, and I believe he was given a fine and was made to register. But I don't think that anything else has happened to that. They walk all the time. It happens every day. Every day these guys walk. And I don't, it's so frustrating because, okay, this is an innocent child. This person is destroyed for the rest of their life. This man gets to go out, walk free, go shopping, go eat, probably 50% chance, probably offend again and do it to somebody else. And then what happens? Then we're going to punish him. Then we're going to deal with it. No, we should have hung him in the first place.
Let me
and I hate to be blunt about it, but that's the 300 years, 6 different children, some of them under the age of 7 years old.
Yes. Even more frightening
people. He just killed 6 people.
Even more frightening to me is this, Aisha. What if this were to have happened in California? Very soon now, in the next few years, laws are going to change according to Governor Brown. And what will happen, as we all know, is that first degree will be released without any criminal record, whether they did jail time or not. Now, this man who was convicted for 300 years did not do jail time. Will that mean then he won't have a record either? And of course, that would be up to the courts to decide, but he could very well walk free without a record.
Okay, so there we go again. So who's to blame here? That would be our representatives and our judges that are making these decisions for all of us. We elect these people to protect us, and this is the best they can do? This is the best we got? We're going to be releasing sex offenders and pedophiles and rapists now?
Yeah. And do you know how many years it took to get that put into place where they notify you when a pedophile has moved into the neighborhood? Do you know what that took to get that law in order?
NARSOL is trying to make it so that pedophiles don't have to register right now. Did you know that? Because it prevents them from being able to proceed as good citizens and get jobs. It stops them. People judge them because of it. Sure. Yeah. They're trying to normalize this.
I do judge it. I do judge it. I do judge them. Let's talk about our next one. This is very recent for you as well. Nigel Oldfield. Oh, yes, Nigel. We've got a little clip on him too I want to share.
But I chose to do what I did at the time. I no longer need to do it. It was just something amongst many things I was doing online at the time that just happened to be illegal quite recently, of course, only quite recent.
So did you get off on it? I'm fascinated to know, because, did you get off on it?
There are many people who are sexually attracted to children in the world, millions in this country.
Are you still sexually attracted to children?
Everybody sexually attracted to minors to some extent, John.
No, I'm asking you. Are you still sexually attracted to children?
Just like you are, John, yes.
I'm not attracted to children at all, sexually.
You're not attracted to people under the age of 18, is that right, John?
Under the age of 16, I think you'll find is
John,
the law.
I think you'll find
but I think you'll find I'm not, no.
Fine, John. I think you'll find in European law that the definition of a child is 18.
We're talking about British law here. Hang on a minute. How old were the children? How old were the children in your images?
From 18 downwards.
Yeah, what's the lowest age?
0 to 18.
So you were sexually attracted to children, babies, were you?
I beg your pardon?
Are you sexually attracted, or were you sexually attracted to babies?
My sexuality is none of your concern.
No, you just said that all of us are. And
you are.
Why are you being confrontational when I'm just asking you questions? Well, answer the question.
I've answered the question for you.
For you to go down for 15 months, the images must have been pretty disgraceful.
Well, only in your opinion.
No, in the opinion of the court.
No, disgraceful is not a legal term.
So what is it then? What were the pictures of? Explain to me one of the pictures that you had in your...
Okay, we're back. Now that's Nigel on a radio show being very out there. Hey, this is who I am and this is what I've done. I'm happy about it. He's from the UK. But what amazed me is that you and your dragon dens had gone after. And there he is. I am... What is it exactly he said? I am the biggest
owner of all the world's children.
All the worst pedophile on the planet.
All the world's children belong to me. Okay, pedo.
He thinks he's a Pied Piper.
These people are sick, Rox. There's no cure, dude.
He claims he's cured.
Oh. Really? But is he really though?
I don't, how?
If you're cured, you do not, listen to me, if you are cured, you do not go out on an open platform and talk about grooming children online and talking about sex with children. That is not curing pedophilia. It's not.
No.
If you're ashamed and if you're cured, then you don't come out and say, I'm a pedosexual and I'm proud of it. I prey on children, and if I see yours and they look good, yeah, no, it's sick. It's sick.
Well, I was happy to think there was
so sick, dude.
There was a young woman who very attractive from the Midwest. She had a 4-year-old daughter, and apparently there was a sting set up, and she wanted $1,200 for her daughter for an hour or two. They got her, they prosecuted her and put her in jail. That's
we found her Twitter page later. Yeah, we found her Twitter page later. She was all about the paper. I went through her Twitter feed. I went through her followers. Oh yeah, dude, she was on Twitter. Who knows what she was doing on there? Meeting clients, probably, for her kids.
Yeah,
we see it all the time.
Let's talk about what you do, Aisha. We've talked about some of the severe criminals. I think there's severe pedophiles that you're up against. I just wanted to show an example of a few that are out there, but you're full of them. So let's start off at the beginning. I consider you the leader of the den. Would that be a good assumption?
I try, but I definitely have captains, and I have other people that definitely pull their own weight and do just as much as I do. But yes, I am somewhat try to be the leader.
Okay, so why dragons? I mean, certainly they're the most popular from Game of Thrones. You've got the largest dragon is in Lord of the Rings. Why dragons?
Honestly, because, well, that's one thing, and because dragons are awesome, and because I'm very religious, and I believe that when judgment comes, dragon-like serpents will be the ones to swallow these people whole. And even the dragons will bow before Elohim when he comes. Even the dragons will honor God. But these guys, they don't honor anybody. And I'm telling you, when I show up on their timeline with my dragons, they're not happy at all. Too bad, pedos.
Bye-bye. You know, you were sweet enough to allow me to come into the den and to share with all of these people that are like-minded as yourself. Have all of these people, I don't know, in that one particular den must have been 50 people, not all at the same time, but in and out, of course. Have all of these people shared similar stories with you in their life?
Not all of them, but a lot of my main dragons. I have a couple different dens. I have people that make America great again and also hunt pedophiles and wanted to help give the dragons a voice, since I get shut down. I'm serious, probably at least once every 2 weeks. I lost, like I said, 22 accounts and probably 80,000 followers in 11 months. So they wanted to come in and help us and give us a voice when I get shut down, and all my other dragons. And in the main dragon's den, there's only a few of us, but a lot of us in there have been through a lot of stuff, either personally with ourselves or our own children, and they're the best people I could ever ask for.
You know, you as I said, you allowed me to go into the den, and it was so interesting because people were really able to feel free to share what was going on. So maybe you could explain a day and what's going on? Because sometimes I won't see you for hours, and then all of a sudden you come out with this huge train, and it's amazing. Not only is it amazing and full of hatred, but you're beautiful. I have seen such beautiful artwork, and we're going to share that with our audience now as we're talking so they can see some of your work. And I remember speaking to you, and we were so frustrated because we thought we had lost a lot of these when they shut you down. So explain a day as a pedo hunter.
Well, every day is different, but pretty much the same thing. Like yesterday, I spent most of the day in the thread room with my captains, and we were in there threading, and we thread separately from everybody else because it's so stressful and so graphic that we don't want to, and it's like it takes a lot of time to be able to put something like that together. And after we spent all day doing that yesterday, by the way, I was shadow banned this morning. So that thread isn't going anywhere. But we do that, and then like on certain days, we will go out and find the most atrocious child porn you can find and try to get Jack to shut it down.
And when you say
we expose CPS, we expose missing kids, we expose everybody.
I have seen some horrible pictures on Twitter. I am shocked. I am shocked how they gloat over it. Go, show me more, show me more. And that could be any one of our children.
I've got pages and pages and pages of little American kids on the worst CP pages because they have harvested your kids' pictures off of the internet and then put them up on their pages on Twitter and sell them to pedophiles. This is why when I come out here and I tell you to keep an eye on your kids and who they're talking to on the internet, this is why. If everybody knew the things that we know about what goes on that platform, your kids would never be on the internet again. My kids are not on the internet. I have a 17-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they are not on the internet.
What do you think? Do the girls at all or parents think that they would go further than just watching them on Twitter? Do they even stop to think that they know where you go to school? They know where you live? They have access to...
They don't think about that. They're kids. They're lonely. They don't think about that. They don't think about how really sick these people are. They just want attention. I've got 13-year-old girls on... I'm telling you, these kids are lonely. These kids are alone, and they're using the internet for attention, and the things that they're doing on the internet for that attention is atrocious.
Let's talk about this new game on cyber that started in another country.
I want that website.
And it's here in the United States. Let's talk about this. You and I shared it, I guess, at the same time. And it's...
I sent that to you. One of my friends sent me that.
Right, that video of that gal who was out of control, stressed because her...
and this is why I get so angry, because when I sit here and I spend day in and day out and telling people and warning people about this, and then I see my own friends go through something like this, it makes me very angry.
Well, now this is a game that's going on, and it's for votes. Who likes who's most popular. And each child that wants to do this game, it's kind of like the condom or the Tide Pods.
It's a child porn challenge.
Right.
Just call it what it is.
Yeah, it's pedophiles.
Pedophiles have opened this site and are getting your children to do child porn, and whoever does the most extravagant thing wins a prize. You get more likes and you get more followers and you get more popular on this website. Yeah. Having kids meet up with each other and do stuff with each other. and filming it and putting it on the internet, they're having your kids make child porn for free and then selling it online.
This is probably one of the worst stories I've actually heard. Such innocence going wild. And
Out of control.
Out of control, right? With what's going on in cyber, they're just giving it to them.
Well, and this is what happens when you have pedophiles online grooming children and telling them that sex is fun and sex with adults is normal and it's okay to have sex and you can just get an abortion if you get pregnant, and this is what happens. And now we're going to try to normalize it and add it to the LGBTQ community, and this is what happens.
Of course, and then this is why we also have a society that's out of control on drugs. If parents are not selling their children to feed their addiction, they're buying it, selling.
Their kids are getting addicted.
Yes, by the leash, of course. That's the only way that they have, the captors, to keep these children, is by getting them hooked on.
When you're abused, you use drugs.
Now it's a vicious circle. So this is intense, the days you put in. This is very intense. You go in and you do this for free. You do it for free. You ask for nothing. You don't want votes. You're shut down every day. You don't have followers. You don't, at the end of every web page, donate here. Donate to the pedo hunters. Donate to the dragons. You don't do that. You ask for one thing. And that one thing is that people help you. And how could they help you, Aisha?
We need to do better.
How can they help you? How can we help you do that so few people are doing? I mean, yes, there's pedo hunters on the ground, feet on the ground, you bet. But yours is entirely different. This is something else. Wake up, America. It is happening. And you do need help.
All day.
Some of these things that people say to you are shocking. Really, really shocking. I can see why some of the things you put out there look so violent.
You met the Dragon's Den at a very weird time in our life, Rox. We are angry now. We used to not be so angry, but we are.
I don't blame you. Angry, sick.
We're hurt.
Mad. All of them. All of the above.
But I mean, it takes a strong kind of person to look at the things that we do every day. So when we have people go out there and make it normal, it breaks us down, especially if it's happened to our kids or us personally. It's atrocious. And we're losing. We are losing. Jack refuses to take child porn down like that. And all my family, all my dragons, and we just want to save the kids. That's it.
Let's talk about MAP for a minute. The minor attracted person. This seems to be very, very new. It seems to be exploding. And I think people have to look at this and realize it like now, like right now, it's in our face.
This is serious. This is stop MAP. You need to stop minor attracted people right now.
Explain
right now.
That.
They need
Explain
to be
that,
off.
Aisha, a better.
Oh my gosh. They need to be off of social media. They need to be gone. These ones are the ones that are out there grooming your children, making it sound like sex is fun and okay. They're the ones that are talking to your kids on YouTube. They're the ones out there fighting to legalize sex at the age of 12. They're the ones out there trying to get rights passed. They're the ones trying to get into the LGBTQ community to try to get pedosexual added to it. This is getting out of control. If you saw all the screenshots of the things that me and my dragons have of what these people have said and done online while we have lost our account and theirs is still standing, you'd be appalled. It's, yeah.
I'm going to scroll all the different hashtags that you would like for people to know so that when they are on Twitter and they do see something that's not right, they know it's a pedophile, they can alert the authorities. I don't really know what else a person can do, Aisha.
We can't really do anything until, well, number one, we're taken seriously. Right. Number two, Jack learns that we're not going anywhere. Until all child porn is removed from Twitter, we're not going anywhere. Until he gives us a better outlet to remove that, me and my family are not going anywhere. Me and my dragons are not going anywhere. He needs to give us a better way to get rid of child porn, or he needs to shut it down. Period.
You know, you had shared with me the other day of an idea you had that Twitter could possibly do with a button. Maybe you want to talk about that for a minute.
Okay. We've talked about this, and this is what needs to happen. When you go up to the report page on Twitter, when you go to check out somebody's share, their profile or whatever, you go to report them. When you push report, there should be a child sexual exploitation box. There's one for harassment and one for graphic images, but we all know that porn, adult porn, flourishes on Twitter. But I'm telling you that there's more child porn than there is adult porn on Twitter. I would put money on it, first of all. And as soon as we hit that button, that page needs to be sent to a special investigation unit at Twitter. Their IPs need to be logged. They need to be tracked. The cops need to address, find out who's distributing or making whatever it is that they're making, and they need to be arrested, and Jack needs to be held accountable. These people are making millions of dollars selling, distributing child pornography. That needs to go to a direct place. They need to investigate it directly. That page needs to be shut down immediately and investigated. As soon as child sexual exploitation box is checked, it needs to go somewhere, and it needs to be checked immediately and shut down, suspended right away. If there's no child porn on it, bring it back up. But if there's child porn on it, it's not coming back. Not delete the child porn tweets, not delete the child rape, and we let you keep your 257,000 followers. You lose your account. But that's not what's happening. Those accounts are still up. But when I went after that account with those many followers, I lost mine, both of them. He's got two pages, one with 257,000 followers. He follows one person, which is his other account, which has 68,000 followers, and it's child porn.
Now, to our audience, you can literally go on there and see this. Just click, and there you're on.
All pedos have to do is search a certain hashtag on Twitter, and it's free child porn for every sick pedophile you could ever imagine, and chances are it's not their kid.
It's frightening. I mean, bless all of you. I am amazed at all of you, how you get in there and you have information and you share it and you dig and you get to the bottom of it. And then you start tweeting and harassing them. I love it. I don't have to do all the research, probably why.
They hate us. Pedophiles hate us. They hate us. But that's all right.
No, I'm sure they do. because you can really go.
I've had them direct message me and apologize when I find them. Okay, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I know I made a huge mistake. Yeah, you did. You did make a huge mistake.
And of course, it's. I don't touch them. I don't touch these children. But to me, if you're looking at them online, you might as well be touching them.
That's abuse. Every time you look at child pornography, you're re-abusing that child. Know that.
Right.
Child pornography is a crime. And according to 18, section 2422, MAPS, you guys might want to look up that. Because what you're doing is illegal. You're breaking the law. Trying to coerce somebody under the age of 18 years old is illegal in the United States of America. If you use any mail or anything like that to try to convince somebody under the age of 18 years old to engage in sex with an adult, you are committing a crime and can be punished and jailed and fined for up to 10 years.
They don't seem to be terribly concerned.
They're not concerned. Why would they be concerned? They have the elites protecting them. The judges letting them out and the governors letting them go free after they've been convicted and not having to register. And what is there to be afraid of? They tell us all the time, we own you. We own Disneyland. We own it all. We own Disney. We own Fox. We own everything. You guys will never stop us. Keep singing your tune. We're going to keep raping kids. It don't matter. You are nothing. But we're not going anywhere. So if we have to troll them and get them shut down over and over and over again and keep coming back and back and back, then we will. But we will never allow pedophilia to be normal. We will never allow child rape to be okay, and we will never allow child pornography on any server. If we find you hosting child pornography, we will take you down.
That's why this is so important to have you on our show. This needs to just be the beginning of a wave, and it needs to continue and continue and continue. The voice no longer should be silenced. So aware of it on Facebook, it's time now to be aware of it on Twitter. What a sad thing. What a sad time. As wonderful as things are in America, the ugly is surely being revealed.
Yeah, we were told it was going to be. It's the Great Awakening. It's time to wake up. And this is our future at risk. And I want every victim out there to know that we're with you. And we're not going to stop. We're going to keep fighting for you, and we're there for you.
Aw. If you're a victim or you're not a victim,
we love all of you.
Get involved. Come. Be involved in this. I think it's very important, Aisha, that this message goes to work to do this can still be a healing process for a victim.
If you're a victim and you need somebody to talk to, I have plenty of dragons for that.
Aisha, you're very strong.
Thanks.
You're very, very strong. Strong lady. And to even do this and not to even think twice about what you're doing. It's amazing. People look at some of your Twitters and they go, ew, they're a little scary.
I tell a lot of people that follow me, if you have a big account, I'm like, thank you so much for following, but my tweets are really, really ugly. So if you unfollow me, I'm not going to be offended. And if you can't find me in a couple days, don't worry. They probably just shut me down. It's fine.
And I will say this again and again. Here are people that are spending their time. They're not looking for followers. They're not looking to get paid. They're doing it because they care about your child, my child, the world's children. When you're talking about this fellow we talked about earlier, Nigel's in the UK, but he's everywhere. He's everywhere on cyber.
They're everywhere. And Nigel might be in the UK, but a lot of these guys are not in the UK. A lot of these guys are right here living next door to you, and you don't even know it.
Right. And if Jerry Brown had his way, no one would know it. I think that's a terrible, frightening law to go into effect.
All of the laws that they're trying to get passed right now, when it comes to children, are very scary. The things that the system is allowed to get away with when it's children is absolutely atrocious. And it's the whole system. The whole system to protect children is broken. I could go on and on and on what this system does to our kids.
I think we'll save that for our next show because there is a lot to talk about. I'm still not over the 22 girls that were brought in and searched while they were at school because someone had stolen $50. So they took them into.
Oh my gosh, this is getting out of control. These people are so lucky that wasn't my kid.
Listen, they took their clothes down to their bra and panties. I want to know who videotaped it.
I want to know where is one of the girls' dads at? That, you know what I'm saying? If that, listen, parents,
I don't think they realized that
these are your children.
I'm sure this is going to show up on the dark web.
I bet you it will, and I'll probably find it.
I absolutely will. 22 beautiful young ladies, of course. What a thrill.
And we'll hear about the cop or whoever distributing it later, and then they'll get a slap on the wrist because some judge will let them go and probably just suspend them with some pay for a little while. You know, no big deal.
And this isn't about anything, but could very well just be what's going on in our schools. And I know that's a deep, dark, ugly area to go at. And I do hope that we can, Aisha, go after that and discuss that more deeply. But this in itself, the den, the cyber pedo hunters, this is real. And this is happening right now. And as we said earlier, if there's someone out there that wants to be a part of that, that wants to meet Aisha, how's the best way to go about finding you, Aisha?
My suggestion would be, since we get shut down so much, just look for the Dragon's Den hashtag. And you know what my Twitter page is, but I never keep them for long. So we're going to set up a main one for the den, and I will tag all the dragons on there so that everybody knows who they are. But how long it will stay up, nobody ever knows. So always just the Dragon's Den hashtag, or Op Child Safety, or Op Pedo, or Anonymous. You'll find us. We're everywhere.
Well, Aisha, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For sharing this hour with us. I'm just incredibly moved by all of you, each and every one of you, and that you take the time to care about someone else's child. And that's really what it is. God bless you, Aisha, and what you're doing. And I pray that you're safe and stay safe, your family, and everyone in the den. Stay safe.
Thank you so much for helping us and giving us a voice. We appreciate it.
You need all the prayers that we can all, as an audience, can give you, because what you're doing is deep, dark, and ugly.
Thanks. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Aisha.
Guys, have a good night.